I think I have an interesting deal. The sassy thing began, if I'm correct, just when COVID was at its peak, and that's been a lot of new Gen Z things have also been happening. And I wouldn't classify this as Gen Z thing, but something more of a educational segment, because it's not only giving you a product, but it's also educating the masses about sexual wellness, which I feel is very important. Something which we're not taught in school is how to file GST, is understanding the your own body, some things which are very necessary in today's world, but it's not being taught. Could be XYZ reasons. I don't know why I was not taught how to file GST, because I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Taxes, GST, whatever it is, income tax, right? Which are basic things which we should learn in school, or at least in even universities. No one taught me how to file an ITR. No one taught Kulmani or Vatsal or anyone listening to this. I'm sure you go through a CA, or you go through someone else to do it, or your dad maybe, or your mom, right? So things like this, when startup comes across, pop across these kind of segments, sexual wellness, financial literacy, education, it's kind of good to see that. Now, when we come to the sassy thing, it's a sexual wellness and intimate care company, right? It is catering to young urban consumers who are showing a high level of openness to discussing and purchasing products for intimate health and pleasure reasons. Now, yes, there are barriers to it. There is stigma. Like in a household, you can't talk about these things openly, to be honest with you. Like, uh, interestingly, when you look at India's own sexual market, I think uh, the levels of market, like I would say, is just 133, or like 3% of the global wellness market. We are a population of what we I think around 1.6 billion, which must be around roughly 20% of the population of the earth, right? And just 3% of the market belongs to India, which shows how underdeveloped this market is. It usually has a tendency to show growth in obviously high income countries, where people are more prone to being taught these things. But I feel India is a very high growth potential in the coming years. The Indian market, the sexual wellness market itself, is projected to become threefolds in the next 10 years itself, because of high adoption by young people in this segment. A very nascent industry in India, a very interesting few startups coming across on the board, and something which is bound to grow, I feel, in the coming years, and something which VCs as well as investors should look into, like seriously.
Right, right. So I think two things will be important for me to learn about this brand. One will be how are they going about building the whole awareness around their brand, right? What kind of campaigns are they running? Like you said,
Mm,
it's not a topic which is widely talked about or discussed. Um, Second will be here. I think they can just focus on online channel because people are not going to be open to doing this any kind of interaction offline. So this has to be online. So this is like you can work on your online stores, whatever channels you have, and really focus on that because it's going to be private. Search is going to be private. A lot of traffic is going to be search driven. So SEO, discoverability becomes important. Like I said, awareness and search and SEO and discoverability. These two, three things, if they just focus, I think they should be able to do. So yes, it's a topic which is not being touched. Like if you go back 20 years, sanitary pads was a industry nobody wanted to talk about. People didn't want to do ads of sanitary pad. Forget about talking. But when brands went to celebrities and told them that we need to do ads, they wouldn't be open to doing that ad, right? And
mm,
now you see, A-listers doing sanitary pad ads. So it's just a normal process transitioning we have gone through around that. So there is a stigma around that. I think, yes, you're right. There will be a lot of demand for this in the coming. A lot of demand in the sense that the demand may already be there, but the signals we were not able to tap into. Right now that these brands are coming up, we'll be able to know more about this category. Like what is being
mm,
bought, what are the questions people are asking,
the customer base we don't know how big the customer base is. It could be a lot of people, it could be less, but it is surely one of those which is like around which will face barriers of stigma, definitely around it. And it is seen in the even in the race that they had. It is considered to be one of the bigger races in this sub segment. However, the whole series, sorry, it was a seed round, was just 6 crore rupees, right? So it was not a huge round, but it is considered to be one of the bigger rounds in this industry. So it is also seen in the investors, this thing, I guess, willingness to invest in these kind of things. So yeah, I think it will take time for people to accept it. And but the good thing is that I think it's kind of early. I think if the business is doing good in terms of unit economics, if they're able to have a good operations base, good customer service in whatever way they can, and if a VC or investor or fund comes in and invests in a good startup, it could be my news, it could be the SASI thing or something else. It could be one of those rare industries which could give a good return 5 to 7 years from now. That seems like the logical uh, path forward, at least right now.